yeah, 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 yeah. Step into the den where the stories ignite. Legends in the making, all the ones in the light. They walk through the fire, they've danced with the fight. Barely holding back, but their words take flight. Barely legends, yeah, we're breaking the scene. Raw truth, no fluff, every word is clean. From the top of the game to the ones unseen. Barely legends, where the dream gets me. Yeah, we got tales from the rise and the climb so steep. Bars of wisdom hidden in the secrets they keep. Mic in the hand, truth rolls so deep. Barely legends waking giants from sleep. Barely legends, yeah, we're breaking the scene. Raw truth, no fluff, every word is clean. From the top of the game to the ones unseen. Barely legends, where the dream gets me. Barely scratching the surface.
To open up with kind of like your story, how you got into kind of the sports management side of things, what you were doing to get into this, and just your time with the Kernels overall.
Yeah, I've been fortunate. I grew up in small town Iowa, north of Cedar Rapids here, Central City, Iowa.
Yeah.
Born in Cedar Rapids of all places, and very full circle for me to be with the Cedar Rapids affiliate here, and yeah, been blessed. I was you know had two PE teachers growing up, so sports was my world, and
Yeah.
I grew up with playing basketball and in the backyard playing catch with dad. So yeah, I knew sports was always going to be my direction in life, and um, played a little football in college at Co College in Cedar Rapids, and uh, went through a couple knee injuries there, and just wasn't worth it, and so transferred to the University of Northern Iowa, and uh, finished up getting my degree there, and moved my life to Orlando, Florida, and worked at Disney World. So
Oh,
didn't really know anybody, but just decided to take the leap. It's Florida, it's the time of my life. I'm young enough.
yeah.
Let's start my career somewhere, and I'm very happy I did. I mean, I tell everyone my time at Disney, there's not a better place to, start your career, to learn that customer service aspect, and just to kind of learn how you work in the real world, and a lot of lessons to be learned, and no one teaches it better than, the Omega of Disney World. So, worked my way over to getting ESPN down there. Worked at ESPN, was an event manager, so did anything from grassroots events to the professional events that came through our spring training, or through our facility down there at the complex
Yeah.
at the ESPN Wild World Sports. And in the midst of that, I kind of the Braves had their spring training facility. That's where that's where they were before they went south, and kind of worked my way in there, and was always doing baseball and softball events. So I kind of built a network in that world, in that realm. Again, loved baseball, played a lot of it growing up, but did I see that as my future career path? Not necessarily, just kind of stumbled into it, and so glad I did. So yeah, and then while I was down there, operated and ran Division One and Division Two college tournaments. We utilized once the Houston Astros in Kissimmee went south and moved their facility down. We utilized that, and so I was reaching out to University of Iowa, Ohio State, Kansas State, Bucknell, Toledo, bringing them down, and we were running weekend tournaments that were regular season events for D1 schools up north that need games, at the beginning of the year. So was doing that, and COVID hit, and came back home. Always wanted to get kind of closer to home. Mom and dad are getting up there and things, and I'm so glad I did, because then I got the opportunity to go up to Madison, be in the Northwoods League for a little bit. Learned a lot more about baseball operations there, and got closer to home the last couple of years, working at Perfect Game, running all the Midwest national tournaments.
Yeah.
And then the Kernels opportunity arose last year. I was hired as the AGM in March, and had my first full season last summer, and it was a great one. And then in October, I was elevated to GM. So yeah, no, it's been a whirlwind off season. I'm so excited for opening day next Friday, and a lot of change, but no, it's going to be a fun season of Cedar Rapids Kernels baseball this year.
Yeah. I looked at the calendar and was shocked that like opening day is just like in a week. I thought that was
It,
insane.
it's funny because Christmas, I think, was 100 days till opening day.
Yeah.
And I remember just, Christmas Eve or Christmas, I'm like, we're 100 days away. All right, tomorrow's 2 digits, and then next thing you know, it's
Yeah,
next week, and it's crazy how fast it
yeah.
goes.
It feels like the Super Bowl is last week still. Like it feels like we're still in that like kind of spot where like what the heck is happening in the world, like the sports world. But I actually grew up I went to Marion High School and grew up in Cedar Rapids, so I know all that area pretty well. And
Okay, yeah. Were you an Indian or a Wolf then?
I was an Indian. Like I
Okay,
still, yeah, I still rep some of my Indian stuff just because it was nice.
absolutely. What year were you then?
2013.
Okay, okay. I was '09 in Central City, so
Oh yeah,
um,
say
know a lot of no, I know a lot of Marion friends. My mom actually taught at Marion for 20 years,
Oh,
so
awesome.
yeah.
My cousins were all before me. So Zach, Chelsea, Chris, Burheit were all kind of right before me, and then I was in there. So I think Chelsea or Zach would have been in that area. They did a lot of cross country stuff like that. So
Chelsea's who I know.
yeah,
I think she was my age.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So they were, yeah. It was a school full of Burheits because then I had a bunch of siblings that were behind me. So yeah, it was full of us.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I I love it back there. We go back there every now and then to go see friends and stuff. Now we're in the Quad Cities, but uh,
Yeah.
just because my wife brought me this way.
No, it's definitely I never when I left to go to Florida, I didn't think I'd be back living in Cedar Rapids. I really didn't. And again, like I said earlier, it's full circle, and
Yeah,
it's funny because now that I'm living here for my career, people are like, "Oh, have you been to this place?" I'm like, "No." And I'm like, "Yeah, I mean, you grew up in the area." I'm like, "Yes, I wasn't old enough to go to this place at that,
yeah,
like my life in Iowa was always education, Central City, Coe College, University of Northern Iowa. I mean, my career has been always in Florida,
yeah,
so it's funny how that works.
yeah. Going back, and it's changed so much since like when I was there, like living there too. Like it's not the same thing. Like there's so many new places that I'm like, no, I've never even heard of that before. Like, what are you talking about?
E- Exactly.
Yeah.
Definitely looks different.
Yeah. So I would love to get into a little bit too, like, so one of my like favorite things to hear about from GMs or presidents of teams that we've gotten to talk to is, and I know this is kind of your first full year of that, but like some of the challenges that you'll see coming up is in a minor league team, if a player starts doing well, you don't get to like, heck yeah, he's doing really well because he could leave tomorrow. How do you expect to like balance that change and opportunity, and then continue to like keep the passion for the team? Obviously, the Colonels are a very well established team, and you got fans coming in no matter what. Because they expect to see like the Byron Buxtons, the Mike Trouts that have been through that area and are well established. But how do you expect to be able to handle those coming up situations?
Yeah, I always say that's a great problem.
Yeah,
If I mean, you root for the guys. That's the world of baseball, right? I mean, they're it's the road. They call it the road to the show for a reason.
yeah,
It is a journey for these guys. And again, I'm fortunate enough. I get the behind the scenes view being down there every day in the clubhouse and building relationships with these guys, and even sometimes getting around to golfing with them and just kind of picking their brain and their career, and and it's everybody has a different reason for showing up to the ballpark
hmm
every day, and that's what's really neat is learning their stories. And um but yeah, I mean, last year was a for yes, it was my first year, but it was a sounds like talking to the Twins and just kind of people that have been here before, it was a very unicorn year in the sense of I want to say we had upwards of 50 or so guys come through, 50, like close to
yeah,
60, just with injuries, promotions, signing new signings. It is a rotating door, like you said. And I know I made the joke to our manager last year, Brian Meyer, who's I'm happy he's coming back second year here. He'll be returning. uh, we had our 2 week road trip last year in July,
hmm
and I think there were 18 new faces that came back to Cedar Rapids, Iowa after that 2 week road
Jeez.
trip. And I messaged him and I said, Brian, you're going to need to get like "Hello, my name is," name
Yeah.
tags for me. I mean, it's tough to keep everybody what's going on with it.
Yeah. Well, and it's got to be an awesome feeling too, where like being such a storied franchise that has produced quite a bit of the players that have come through that area, that teams are willing to send down the Twins right now, are willing to send down because they want the Colonels to succeed and have the opportunity for those fans to kind of because in the Cedar Rapids area, for those that are outside of that area, like you have, even as football, like you could be 5 different football fans because we don't have one, or
Yeah,
baseball, you got all the surrounding states that have the teams, so you're kind of picking and choosing. So those Twins want to obviously battle for those uh
yeah.
kind of fans in that area. So it's kind
I,
of a cool situation.
I mean, you said it. It's funny. We always joke because our front office. It's an NFC North. Football.
Yeah,
Someone's a Bears fan, someone's a Lions fan, someone's a Packers fan, and someone. It's someone's a Vikings fan.
yeah,
And it's great for us, and it's been such a great marriage joining up with the Twins in 2013. Obviously proximity, being the big league club, 3.5 hours down,
hmm,
straight south. Um, but again, like you said, we're in the league with a Cubs affiliate. We're in the league with a Cardinals affiliate. So it's again, just being an American League team. It's fun. Like I think those Cubs fans that do come out to when the Colonels play the South Bend Cubs, there can be a little respect for, I like the Colonels. They're my hometown
yeah,
team, and they're the AL. They're not competing with the Cubbies at the top. So that's what's kind of fun is there's that friendly rivalry. I'd say
right,
just for the internal fan.
yeah. Do you? So I don't know how much you got around last year with it, but do you get to go to the opposing team? I know some teams battle different ways. Do you try and take trips with your team and try and see the other stadiums and kind of bounce ideas off of what they do?
Absolutely. I fortunately we were in a clinching spot last year at the end of the first
Yeah,
half, and so I went to Beloit last year when we clinched. And went up there. And I tell you what, it's neat. It's fun to again talk about that building that relationship with the guys. Um, Even though you're not coaching them or anything like that, you can tell there's just that the guys love it.
yeah,
You're around them every day. I was just in Fort Myers 2 weeks ago at spring training visiting the Twins and want to make sure we're ready to rock and roll up here, for opening day and uh, seeing some of the players I haven't seen since September. It was satisfying to check in with them, see how
yeah,
they're doing, and how many look forward to get back up to Cedar Rapids. We're spoiled. We
yeah,
are. I mean, Cedar Rapids is pretty special when you talk about people's time in the minors. You hear horror stories all the time. I think the track record for people that have to go through Cedar Rapids, then that's their path to the bigs. Cedar Rapids is pretty memorable for them.
yeah. I've been spoiled a little bit in the fact that growing up in Cedar Rapids, having a you know minor league baseball team there, that's such a big part of the city. And then now here in the Quad Cities with the River Bandits, I mean
Yeah.
the town rallies around them as well. So it's like it's always hard to hear the horror stories of, like, oh, my single A team is dying because, like, the city doesn't surround it, or even the Heartlanders in Iowa City, the hockey team, like, unfortunately have to
Yeah.
suspend next year. Like, it sucks to have, like, you know having these teams, which I kind of get the Heartlanders a little bit. They've got the Storm here and the Rough Riders there. I know that they're not the same league, but those are two very passionate fan bases. But I've been super spoiled and, like, having baseball that I know is going to be here. I mean, one of the oldest stadiums here in the Quad Cities.
Yeah, and you said it. And I've said it before to a lot of people when I speak. I'm like, I was very naive to what the Colonels meant to the community of Cedar Rapids, Iowa,
Hmm.
until I got in the position I'm in. Growing up like yourself, I'm 25 minutes. I grew up 25 minutes away from the ballpark, and I knew of the Colonels. I knew
Hmm.
what they were, but once you get on the Colonel side of things and you realize the impact it does have on the city as a whole, and we're a small market compared to the 120 minor league clubs. I mean,
Right.
we're in the the if there's broken down into 4 tiers, we're in that tier 4, but we do a hell of a job in that tier 4 of being clumped in that small market of population of you know minor league baseball and Cedar Rapids loves us and we have a pretty loyal following. Even MLB, whenever they come to a game a couple times last year, that the first thing they say is your fans show up.
Yeah.
They show up and show out. I mean, they're locked into the game and they care about if the Colonels win or not. And I always say, like, I'm in an entertainment business and there just happens to be a baseball game here at the
Yeah.
stadium. Um, but those fans do care about the baseball game too, which is even more fun.
Yeah, and it's cool because like I even remember going to like weekday games in high school and college, and it's still being. I mean, there was quite the fan base in the stadium for those games. Like this is crazy to like, even MLB stadiums kind of have a hard time. I know they're bigger, obviously, but they even have a hard time getting a bunch of fans in during the middle of the week games.
Yeah. And that's where, all off season, it's funny. People are like, "Oh, what do you do in the off season? Must be dead for you." No, I am ready for opening day because
Yeah,
once the season gets here, it's just kind of it's Groundhog's Day,
yeah,
Whereas this off season, it's been all right, planning, theme nights, promotions. What are we doing? Who are we getting? Just how can we be creative and uh, keep expanding our brand to make people want to come out to the ballpark?
yeah. I did want to get so we've had Kyle Kerscheval, the broadcaster of the River Bandits, on before to talk.
Yep.
And he said like it's tough because obviously with the MLB kind of running your Twins for you guys running things, you don't necessarily get your roster. I mean, within a certain amount of time before the season starts. How does it work to balance that out and kind of because I know there is certain parts of the fan bases that get more excited when they see the team and who's going to be here versus obviously you're going to have fans show up no matter what. How is it for you guys to kind of get in your roster? Do you guys get it? I mean, a decent amount, or how many days before the season even starts?
So what are we, like 9 days away from
Yeah.
opening day, and I don't have a roster
Yeah.
yet. But like I said, I went down to spring training a couple weeks ago and talking with them. You kind of get a feel of who's coming. You get the gist of who might be coming. Player packages are starting to arrive, so I went over. There was a shoebox today I saw,
Yeah.
and something that's exciting and that I kind of had an inkling, but the box says Eduardo Tait.
Oh,
I don't know if you know who that is, but that's our 19-year-old phenom
yeah.
here. That he was part of the big Johan Duran trade in the Phillies. So number 65th prospect in all baseball, number 2 in the Twins
Yeah.
organization. He's going to be here opening day for us. So I think we'll be pretty stout early on. And I say early on because of what we talked about
Yeah.
before.
Right.
Hopefully, if they perform and do what they're supposed to, they're going to be in Wichita by the end of May.
Yeah.
And the Twins value that. They love. I mean, we've been to the playoffs 12 out of 13 years since being with them. That's unheard of.
Yeah.
I mean, making the playoffs in minor league baseball with that much promise all the time is the Twins do care about winning at the lower levels because that's part of building and winning
Right.
culture for those guys coming up through the system.
Whether it be for trades in the future to get the Twins kind of where they need to be, or those guys like Byron Buxton being a key piece of the team that started out with the Kernels and kind of built his way up. Because I remember seeing his highlights on ESPN when he was playing for the Kernels because he was so dang fast.
It's funny. It's funny you bring up Buxton because just this morning I was talking to our broadcaster and he was going down the rabbit hole with them, and it was like in 61 games with the Kernels that year, he had 10 triples, 8 home runs, and like 18 doubles. I mean, it was just
Yeah.
it was video game numbers.
Yeah. Yeah. Just like you're playing MLB on friggin' easy mode and you can just hit anything.
Yeah.
I did forget. So we usually start out, but we kind of got right into the conversation. We kind of do some icebreaker questions too that we've always asked everybody. We
Yeah.
do guilty pleasure song, pizza topping, go-to pizza topping, and then road trip snack.
Ooh, pizza topping. I'm gonna say garlic.
Okay, yeah.
Some
Good garlic
like some
crust is
garlic cloves
awesome.
on there.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm gonna go there. Guilty pleasure. What was it?
Song.
Oh, guilty pleasure song. Ooh, that's a good one. I mean, probably back in the day. I mean, I haven't listened to it for a while, but probably something like a Justin Bieber song or something like that. I mean, probably one of those. I would say, or a boy band. I mean,
Yeah.
I'll put my pride aside and
They're
say,
they're
there's
catchy.
nothing
I mean, no matter what,
there's
they're
nothing wrong
catchy.
with a boy band
Yeah.
song, 98 Degrees or something, growing up in the late 90s. Yeah, no that. And then what was the last one? Oh, road trip snack.
Yeah. Something you're
Ooh,
grabbing at the
I think
gas station.
yeah, I'm usually a Skittles guy.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's a good one. Are
What
you
what
sour
what,
or
what are
regular?
regular? I'll get
Regular.
canker source.
Yeah, yeah. Say it. My wife loves sour stuff, and like I don't love the like lockjaw feeling you get from like I'm not about that. Give me like sweets
Yeah.
all day. I'm not sour is not in my repertoire usually. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um
Uh,
so promotion wise, what was it like this year kind of being a little bit of a front runner in that kind of process in this year?
yeah, I think the thing I hammered the most with this with the team going in the off season was um, kind of a fresh slate of and a kind of a new chapter in Colonels baseball with a lot of new faces. It's a lot of new front offices first opening day with the Colonels. I
Right.
think there's probably we have a pretty small front office. I want to say it's 19 or 20, and I bet 12 or 13 are new. So pretty big overhaul in the front office world. But that's excitement, and that's the word I keep hammering. Is um, that's what drives me every day right now. Is just the um, kind of that new, fresh slate of getting creative and bringing, sprucing up the
Mhm.
stadium. What's important to me is everybody come April 3rd, they walk into the stadium and it's things they've never seen before.
Right.
We've revamped our team store. It's a whole new facelift. Ripped up carpet, painted walls, suite entrance. We have a cool project going on, showcasing Major League Baseball players that have played here in the stadium. Revamping our kids zone. Uh, TLC goes a long way. Painting a lot of areas. Uh, Showing a little love to the exterior of our stadium, and then again, you talk about promos and theme nights again, doing things that the Colonels fans that again we have that great following, but I don't want them to come out and just be like, "Oh, it's another year of Colonels baseball." I
Yeah.
want to be like, "Wow, this is a new year of Colonels baseball," if that makes sense.
Right.
And so bringing in acts that haven't been here before, that you might have seen on TV or at other ball clubs, uh, little promotional activities that again we've never done before here. Just I love it. That's what's fun is getting zany and wild in minor league baseball.
Yeah, definitely. And I just want to close out this interview too with kind of what should we expect from the Colonels this year? What should we expect from kind of new GM? What should we expect to kind of hear from?
Yeah, I mean, team wise, I think we're going to be pretty fun to watch early on. I think
Yeah.
we're going to score a lot of runs, and if we get the pitchers, I think we're going to get. I think we're going to have some flamethrowers that are touching 100 in April when it's 35 degrees, and that's wild to think.
Yeah,
So,
that sounds like it's gonna hurt
team,
a lot.
yeah. So team wise, I think it's going to be a very fun team. One of those where you look back on it and you're like, wow, that guy played in Cedar Rapids. I think there's going to be two, three, four of those guys, and I already feel like from last year, Kalen Culpepper's one of them. He was
Yep.
the first rounder in 23, shortstop out of Kansas State, who opening day was with us, crushed it first half, hit the walk-off go-ahead home run to clinch the first half there. And now I think he'll probably start in St. Paul. And I wouldn't be surprised if he maybe sniffs, the Twins this year at some point. So within a year, he's already made it from the Colonels to
Right.
the Bigs. So, no, I think there's some greatness there on the team side, and then again, like we said, it's an entertainment business for us, and you know, having fun with again added kid zone, enhancing there. We're getting Dippin' Dots into the stadium this year. I know every kid loves that. Just new partnerships, new food products, just a bunch of little things that are going to go a long way. And I expect, people that come to a Cedar Rapids game this year, they're going to notice a lot of the change and a lot of the hard work that did go into the offseason. So when people are like, "What did you do in the offseason?" They're going to see what we did.
Right. Right. And that's what makes baseball so special, right? Like there's a lot of sports where like, the minor leagues, they're just doing it to kind of have a moment left in the game. Whereas like minor league baseball, like these guys have a real shot. They just put them here to kind of because they have so many spots that they need to fill and kind of see where you're at level wise. Like there's a good shot. We're gonna see a lot of guys out of this league be up in the MLBs one day. I mean, there's proof, right? Like with the big names that have just the big names coming from Cedar Rapids in general.
Yeah, I mean, so something I think it's the was built in 2002, and I think we've had 163 um, play for the Colonels, don a Colonels jersey, and make it to the bigs.
Yeah.
So that math, checks out to what 4 or 5, more than that, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, a year. if you break it down, there's 7 or 8 there that a year that you can expect to see on a major league. Um, you know, just recently, obviously Zebby Matthews and Luke Keeschel and Carson McCusker. I mean, those are just 3 real quick ones off
Yeah.
that were here, over a year ago that made their debut last year.
Yeah, and that's just the fun part about it, I think, is just because I mean, plus, like, these guys also want to make a name for themselves and want to get the fans interacted. Like I said, going back to when I was going to games in high school and college, like, I know that they were coming up to the nets and talking to people and kinda, like, doing the little sign your baseball things and stuff like that. Like, they want you to know who they are, so when they get up there, like, you remember them.
And that's why it's important for us on Sundays after we do 1 o'clock games, and then after those games we have the guys go out on the field and kids come down, adults come down, and they get autographs,
Yeah.
and the players do love it. Obviously, they like it a little more after a win,
Yeah.
but no, I mean they're building their brand too.
Yeah.
I mean, these are 19, 20, 21 year olds that are starting their career. And there's a lot of pressure on those guys. I mean, signing these multi-million-dollar deals, and then they go to Cedar Rapids, Iowa, and they've never, seen this cold temperatures, and
Yeah.
they're in a, they're coastal boys and things like that, or and so it's a culture shock for them. There's just it's those things that I said that I get to see behind the scenes that the fan that just comes out, oh, this person bats 212. There's so much more that goes into it. That's
Right.
pretty fun to watch.
Right. Well, Sean, I appreciate your time coming on. This was an awesome talk. I'd love to, like,
Yeah.
maybe midway through the season, like in that midway break, have you back on and kind of recap the first half of the season and give me a little detail too, because the way the high A playoffs are confuses the crap out of me with winning the first half and then the second half. Like, I even watching it after a while, like I still am confused. So give me a breakdown in the halfway mark, and we'll see where we're at.
No, first off, Ryan, appreciate you letting me come on here. This has been great. Yeah, let me know. I'd love to come in and do a midseason report, and hopefully it's a first half West champion here,
Yeah.
and I can start selling some playoff tickets. So no, it is quirky. It's a first half champion of the West, first half champion of the East, and then there's a second half champion of the East and the West. Those 4 play. They just West plays West, East plays East, and then the championship. And then they alternate. Like last year, the West had home field advantage for the championship, so that's why we were going to actually play 2 games against West Michigan in the championship. Had we have won one and forced a game 3, it would have been with us. Next year, it'll be the East is technically the home field advantage. So
Yeah. See, I think
it's all about player health and wellness
Yeah.
is what they say is, so they're not traveling West Michigan, coming back here, going back.
Yeah.
So that's again, it's a quirky setup, but
I think
it is what it is.
the biggest reason it confuses me is because by the second half, I've already forgot about the first half. So then I'm like, wait, what? It's not like the MLB where, like, hey, at the end of the season, you've won this many games, you kind of gotten to this point. It's like I got to remember halfway through the season again and what was happening. So that's where I get lost.
And that's why I like, let's win the first half, and then everybody's records go 0-0, and I don't care if we're 6 back in the second half because we've already clinched our spot.
Right.
So it's
Get those
but
wins out
no.
early at least.
Exactly.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Sean. Like I said, I'd love to talk to you middle of the season, and we'll connect then and kind of recap. I'm hoping for just ease of life here to make more to talk about. River Bandits and Kernels be battling for those first spots. Obviously, right now, I'm going to tell you, I hope the Kernels are on top because we're trying to make friends here. But
Thanks for the honesty. I appreciate it.
All right. Well, I appreciate it.
Hey, take care.